Good morning, everyone. Kansas Sports HQ here, Season 2, Episode 20. Real close to yesterday's being 20, but no, we're here. How you guys doing this morning?
Episode 20.
Road to 90.
The road to 90 times 2.
Times 2, so 180.
Nope. It's just road to 90 on repeat.
2-90.
We just
Pretty
need to
much.
end at 90 episodes every.
Instead of, well, we already screwed it up
Yeah,
the first time.
yeah, I was gonna
Went
say.
to 100.
Well, this one we would have to end on 80.
Maybe we should just delete those 91.
I'm so
Nobody would notice, but yeah, we could.
Nah, some people would notice.
Why do you guys stop on
This
90?
is
Because
so awesome.
that is what we do.
Every time you do Instagram, it doesn't work on mine.
Instagram works for me.
Yeah, I don't understand. Oh well, sorry Instagram. Right.
Now we lost all our viewers
Dang
because
it.
they all watch us on Instagram.
No, they don't. They watch on YouTube.
The 242 is on Instagram.
No,
False. They
242
are-
is YouTube.
They're on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
A little
so-
more worldwide. How was
Yeah.
your mother this morning?
She was great.
Why didn't she want to hop on the pod with us this morning?
She said she technically wasn't ready for the world.
I mean, that's fair.
She didn't have to have her camera. We can just call her.
Oh yeah. I don't call her. Is that what you connect to WhatsApp on this now?
Yeah,
Oh,
It's
I
just a
can, yeah.
number.
it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
a number. Yeah,
Well,
it just Bluetooth right in.
just boom.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then it'll
okay.
call her, and we'd hear the whole story.
Right.
yeah. She said
Why are you wearing sunglasses on the podcast, Najee?
I'm waiting on that message to come to my phone so bad. Just looking because I know she's watching on
What's
TV.
the answer?
Oh, they put it on
Oh.
the big screen.
Oh yeah, Mom watched everything on the big screen.
Yeah.
The live show, or
famous,
just
man. We're famous on
whenever we
242.
Everything.
post them?
Can't wait until we all show up there, and then they're gonna be like, "Wait a minute,
I
I've
know
seen
that.
you before.
Yep. I'm be like, hey, this motion twin.
We ain't gonna like. You can hang out with us.
Yeah.
We're not gonna drown you.
Oh whoa,
You just
whoa.
stay with us."
Whoa! We don't drown people. What do you
I don't
think
know
this-
what
I have
happened.
no
what do you think
idea
this is?
what's
Game of,
going on.
what do you think this is? Who do you think we are? The Boltons?
Oh, don't cut them. Blood in the water. Sharks. You know?
I think when Sheldon has the glasses on, he doesn't. Don't take him.
no,
So lock back in.
Sheldon.
Oh,
You're,
yeah.
Sheldon, you're locked. Don't
I know.
motion.
I know. Ready.
Exactly.
Ready.
All I'm saying is, Mom was doing well this morning. She said she wasn't feeling too good, but that's okay. She's a tough gal. She, as Sean would say, she's a tough gal.
Yeah.
Yeah, emphasis on the gal.
Well,
Ah.
I mean, she's a tough cookie.
Tough
Yeah.
cookie, tough plane.
Guile.
My mom flew in the air for
Okay.
about 30 years.
Okay.
So
Raised right here and back of the, what did I say down there earlier?
Texas raised here in Derby.
Derby raised in Texas.
oh, are we talking
What-
JJ?
Yeah, that guy.
Nah. That guy?
Dude, his twang is something.
He's probably worked on that because you have to have it for your music.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, he sounds like he's from Texas.
I also
not from
heard he
Let me
did-
tell y'all something.
I did
Yeah.
hear he did
Born and
well
raised.
at that Wave blood
Texas.
cancer event.
Derby, Texas.
Saw them. Saw
Heard.
that.
Yeah, lots of
Heard.
people enjoyed that.
He's sitting here in my chair.
Yeah, he sat right there.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
That's been the highlight of that chair, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I
JJ.
Oh my. No. Technically, the highlight is still Sean falling asleep on the podcast. That is still trending. That is still trending
That's
on TikTok.
trending?
On TikTok. That is still trending on
I
TikTok.
don't pay attention to that.
I
but-
do think that Sean's post has the most views. I think.
Yeah,
Which one?
the
Like the
coaches
most-
one.
Yeah, the coaches one.
One
I
of the
think it's
coach-
the most viewed that we've ever put out.
Coaches who coach for themselves, Don't do it for the right
hit some
thing.
people. Like,
but
it's
coaches who
stabbed
coach for the players
deep.
are the ones who go
If it-
far in life. Like the fact that I could somewhat remember that shows that I remember what you're
That's why
talking
it's
about.
viral.
That's why it's viral, dog.
That
It-
might have been our only 100%,
It
not
can't-
99.
It came across 3 of my feeds. 3 of them.
Here, bro, put them on. They're yours now.
He's not.
Yeah,
doing it.
you got hey, got motion.
He's
huh?
got the most.
He's got motion without the
Got the
shade.
most. How my eyes
bring
redilate.
my pit vipers on.
Ah,
Ah.
well,
Flip them upside down.
Uh,
I'll bring you
uh,
my face shield. You can wear that.
Dude, that
When he
thing's
got from
so
the-
funny.
Gay Pride Parade.
What?
He used to wear that playing slow pitch. It was awesome.
That was my, like pushback to the COVID people. I
When
just
those
wore-
showed up in the
I
mail,
wore
it
a
was
face shield
hilarious.
the whole way.
It was hilarious.
It was pretty fun.
Face shields. Those were not.
I use it sanding my deck though. It worked
Have-
out really well.
Have you seen his face
Polarized.
shield?
Nah.
It's literally a
It's like you're wearing glasses, but it just covers your whole face.
Well, that's a face shield, no?
yeah, but they're glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's face
Well, it
shields. I know.
protected me during the worst time of our
Listen to me.
history.
Those face shields weren't protected.
No, that's
Neither
not-
were the masks.
That's the same.
If
I
I-
was protected.
Nah.
I was protected.
Nah. The blue mask, I'll give you the benefit. Black mask, benefit of doubt. I'll
Yeah.
say they tried.
They had different colors.
Hey, none of them
medical-
did
No,
anything.
yeah, they
for
had different-
respiratory virus.
They did have different colors. I mean, I once had a school ask me if I could make some, and I'm like, "Yeah, sure. You want your logo on them? Like, sure. You're breathing through polyester."
Yeah, no, none of them.
I'm gonna put a bunch of cotton balls.
And
in
there's
my
still
mouth.
people who wear them today. Guys, take the mask off, especially
So,
when you're driving in your car.
Wait,
That's the one that killed me.
so hold
like,
on.
well, wait a minute. You're in your car by yourself.
Yeah, they
I
got
love that. I love
gotta be
the-
masked up.
What
Hold on. At
Get
one
out of
point, I saw a mask.
Priorities.
Like, just nobody in the car, windows rolled up,
Yeah,
filters.
are great.
Anyways,
So, yeah,
The Midwest was a wild place during
So-
that time.
dude, we had to figure.
Midwest
it out.
like I don't really feel like fighting this, but
Uh,
I'll kind of go halfway on it.
There's also the people who would be like, just their nose so they could smoke or whatever. Like,
dude.
oh,
So-
wow.
All time.
Dude, we were figuring it all out.
I
you know?
really didn't even need to wear masks. We were forced because we were part of the public schools. We were forced to wear them like on bus rides and stuff for baseball. But I mean, everybody was just like, I mean, it was there, but it wasn't on or anything because I mean, we
I
got
don't
to
know.
breathe.
It definitely. Are we finally through the COVID times?
Well, there'll be
athletes.
I'm sure there'll be another thing coming. But.
nah.
Playing sports.
Oh, you mean
outside.
like extra?
Yeah, eligibility stuff. I think this was 2025
Yeah,
was the last
yes, it's supposed to be, but like, what the new thing now for college athletes is they just like, oh, I played at JUCO or I played it or this thing happened my second year of school, so they send in these hardship waivers to the NCAA. NCAA is just like, okay, whatever, and then they sign
Once
and
they
they get
open,
an extra
they
year.
open the floodgates,
Yeah.
and now they can't.
The
So now
first-
we got 7 to 8 year players. Dude.
Nah.
Oh yeah. So what's probably going to happen is the NCAA says no more waivers. Everybody gets 5 years.
Yeah, but they're gonna do a 5. That's gonna be a real thing. They're gonna give up. They're gonna give
Because
the
then
5 years to everybody.
that's like the middle ground for like you know how
Pretty sure that got voted on already.
Yeah, but
the
I'm pretty
JUCO
sure
the JUCO
2025
guys-
was the end of it.
5-year clock.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
No.
a 5-year clock.
20,
Whether
21.
your
Speaking of-
your 18th birthday.
What?
I think it starts on your 18th or
18th,
19th
20.
birthday.
I think it
or
start-
if you graduate.
something like
It
that.
starts like when you
technically, but
get to the
there was
Division I
redshirts and
level
stuff that had
Yeah.
yeah. So
As
I just don't want to see a 7-year athlete go to the NFL at 29 years old.
good for them.
speaking.
Rented it out.
Hey,
Wasn't
speaking.
there like a 60-year-old Division 3
Yeah.
lineman or
That
something like
defensive
that?
end, he tried out for the
Yeah.
team. He's trying to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
You're
was
telling,
Eligibility,
me
man.
you're telling me you're not full of testosterone.
Guys.
I mean, what was the NBA player that went back and got accepted to play college golf?
Sick.
Oh,
Oh, J.R.
yeah.
Smith.
Yeah,
J.R. Smith?
yeah. I mean, he went out of high school to
Yeah, because
play.
he still had eligibility.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
never went to
I'm-
college, so
Yeah, I mean, you make your millions and you just go play golf for a school to get your
Can't help
degree.
it.
Let's go.
But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. People obviously
you.
abuse
Thanks.
the rules and regulations to their advantage, which
Yeah.
is just kind of how it is.
If you
But
ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I agree. Like, there's pieces to it, but I also think that there's got to be some exceptions. Like, I
we're
feel
like we're in the midst of a guy who went almost 6 years of college.
yeah, and there should be some exceptions. Like, if guys go to the military right out of high school, I think they should have the opportunity to come back and play college sports. I don't think that that's like
Oh, Brandon Whedon, remember that guy?
absurd. I do, but I
So
don't
he
remember.
he went pro out of high school for baseball. That kind of ran its course. So he came back, balled out at OSU at quarterback.
Yeah.
And Justin Blackman was on that team.
Uh-huh.
I was at the game when Iowa State upset them when they were number 2 in the country. Anywho, stormed the field. It was kind of crazy.
No
Nice.
biggie.
Like that.
Both my Iowa State Cyclone brothers at home, not at the game. I'm
Oh,
at the game.
Well, yeah. Let them know.
with a couple of my
Nice
buddies.
job,
Yeah.
Kenny.
So, but anyway,
Kenny.
but yeah, and Brandon Whedon at 28, I think he was 27, 28, got drafted in the Browns and all of their infinite wisdom, drafted him in the first round to be their quarterback.
Of course.
They're like, oh yeah, 28 years
They know. They know.
in an absolutely not pro style offense. Yeah,
Come on.
come on.
Yeah, you'll change it.
That was before they. Now, if Brandon Whedon, that'll happen today, Whedon might be able to actually
for sure.
fit on a roster because now the offense in the NFL is more of
Versatile.
what he was doing
Mhm.
back at OSU because they changed that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be some exceptions to it, but I don't know.
Nah, just if they can play, let the kids play. If they have a term left, let them play. If they have a year left, let them play.
No, I mean,
Don't
I get
hold.
that. I'm saying more along the lines of like delaying their college eligibility. Like there's got to be some sort of reasoning behind that rather than just well, you didn't play in college, so you can show back up at 28 and re-enroll into college and then just start playing sports then.
I
Like
feel
there should be some reason. Like like you went to the military or you were drafted professionally, although I think that's kind of backwards.
I think once you're in pros, you shouldn't
be able to go back.
even if
I
it's a
kinda-
different sport.
I kind
Why
of agree
not?
with that, but
why not? Because I feel like when you go to college,
You're just physically different than those kids when you get back. That's why Brandon
Mhm.
Whedon was so good. He's physically different. He's
yeah.
well,
7 to 9 years older than everybody there.
I just think you get to where we
And
are
that's,
right
like,
now if
when
you
you're-
continue to
yeah.
allow it, which is crazy.
You're between 25 and 30. That's an athlete's prime age.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then you're going back to college. Now, like J.R. Smith's playing golf. So
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
like, it's a little weird, but it's like, okay, make a rule for some sports and not others. But like, if you're talking
yeah.
about like football, or like a guy who went pro in baseball comes back as a tight end QB in football, like they're just physically better than the people around them.
Everybody.
and that's so like, I agree they should be not allowed to play like the core sports. Honestly, like the baseball, the basketball, football, like all that good stuff. But if they want to go out and bowl, play golf, even tennis,
like non-contact.
yeah, like the non-contact stuff,
and
where-
obviously not the sport you went pro in.
of
already.
course, like
Yeah.
where because that blew your amateur status. But at the same time, if they want to get a degree and play a different sport, why not let them if they
Yeah.
can? But I feel like to meet in the middle. I feel like there should be an age cap. I feel like there should be an age cap. If you come back and you're 27, I don't think you should be allowed to 27 turning 28, not about to turn 27. 27 turning 28. I feel like that's where we should. Okay, you're almost 30. Let's settle down. So I would say like that 27 should be the final age. You should be allowed to start competing, and they should put a window on it. Like you can get like a year that you can play this sport. You can bowl, or so on and so forth. You can
Something
finagle
like
a little
that,
bit. Yeah,
but-
something like that.
I think there's just so many. Well, now you have.
Yes and no. I don't know. That's a hard thing to answer because
then
most of these colleges sign these people not because they're actually really good at those sports. They sign them because the clout that comes with it.
100%.
So it's a business decision. It's not
Well,
like
everything.
what dreams is J.R. Smith really living up to? Like this dude was a NBA All-Star finalist, probably won a title at some point in
Yes.
time.
He
Like
does.
you know what I mean? So like what is he really like doing?
Trying to get his education.
That
Yeah, but that portion of it is fine. You don't
Which-
have to play golf
Well,
to do.
what? Hold on though.
Yeah,
But some
what are we
people
getting
need.
our education. at?
Exactly.
But some people need an incentive to go to school sometimes, and that's probably his incentive is to golf for his sport. Because some people need an incentive.
Sure.
Probably
Could
prom-
you
probably
imagine
promise his
traveling
mom.
to J.R. Smith and he just private united himself somewhere for the golf tournament?
Yeah, I just don't.
Let's get Jared on here, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't.
We're still
on
waiting
one
for you to
hand,
get Jazz Chisholm on
I
here.
texted him.
Life prep.
on one hand, I agree with the sense of like it's sports, so I want people to be able to play them. But if you
He's already
are-
played 18 years.
yeah,
of
if you're
professional
trying to play a
sport.
if you've already gone professional and you want to go play golf, then go get in the Q school and play. Like you got the money, you have the backing, you have the resources. Like you don't need to go to college to try and play golf.
'Cause
You
then
can-
he's taking a spot from
from a
some other
kid who's
kid.
trying to find his way in that sport. Like to
Not
me,
that
like
there's
if
not-
you've already gone into a professional status, you shouldn't be able to go back and play any college sports. Like, you should have to, like, you can go play all those sports, go play adult whatever, and then work your
Yeah.
way into it professionally.
Like Tony Romo.
Yeah, Tony R, man.
Right? Like, you can go play professional baseball.
Still no pro
like,
card.
J.R. Smith was good
Mookie
enough
Betts
at
is going to
baseball.
go pro in
go play
something
as
else when
pro.
he's done with baseball.
Steph will do the same.
I
Like,
don't
why
know.
why
Go
you got to do
pro
it in
in golf
college?
or bowling.
They do it in college because they're physically better than college athletes at 19 years old, so they have an opportunity to compete at a super high level still, and they know that their money and status will open a door somewhere for them to still get the pamper, to still get all of the stuff. And if, to your point, his education makes a difference, I would argue that that's all BS too. But if it makes a big difference to him, like, sure, like, that's a piece of that as well. But you don't have to be on the
let me
golf team
give
to
you
get an
guys
education.
let me give you guys a situation. Hypothetically, let's say I'm a former pro athlete. I didn't get my degree, but I'm going to make a large donation to the school if because I want to finish out my education. It's just something, a dream of mine to do. But I'm going to make a large donation to the school, but I'm not going to ask for a scholarship. I asked and I received eligibility to play on the team, an opportunity to try out. But if I make the team, does that make me, should I not be eligible?
How long have you played?
What do you mean? In the
Uh,
pros?
Yeah.
I had a great career.
Oh no, you can't play. Like
Good
if
for
you had a
you.
whole career, I
Good
feel
for you.
like I feel like there's a limit to it. If you play, let's say for some odd reason you play 4 years in the pros, you bounced around, nobody wants you anymore. Like let's say you signed out of high school at 18 years old. That puts you at an age where you're like at 22, where you still have your prime. Why can that kid go back to college? It would have been my question. So like kind of Dave's thing. Dave said he already had a great career. He's done. Like basically he's telling me he is done. He's just cloud chasing at this point. That's what I can't allow. Is that dude who's cloud chasing the glory days?
Sure.
Who everybody
So
wants to be Mr. Incredible.
then why are they allowing college basketball players to say, I'm eligible to be drafted, but I want to keep my eligibility in school?
Well, that's a different thing too, because the NBA draft is only 2 rounds, so they're trying to get an idea from scouts if they're willing, if they can, especially nowadays when college basketball players are getting paid large sums of money. So they're seeing if they can actually get to that first or second round pick, or if they're a fringe first round guy. Well, it just makes more sense for me to return back to school, enter the portal, get $2 million plus $3 million, as opposed to get drafted and not get much money in the second round or whatever, or not be drafted at all. So like if they're not a lottery pick, they can get feedback from the scouts. But that also has to happen quick, because once again, the calendars don't line up, because you have, and that puts coaches and teams and these players in tough situations to where these players can try out the process, but with the transfer portal only being open for this amount of time and the draft and the combine not being until June, the timeline doesn't line up. So they have to work quickly to get an idea of what they're doing before they come back. They never actually suit up for a pro team in that. They're just seeing if they can make it. And then if they don't, they have the option, they can, or if the feedback isn't good, then they have the option to, well, okay, I'm going to go back to school and finish it out.
You're killing it in college, Sean, as a pitcher for baseball. Are you going to say, "Oh, I want to see if I can make it into the MLB draft, but I want to keep my eligibility"?
They don't do that for baseball.
But why do they do it for basketball?
I said basketball, you have to go.
It's a different thing, and then plus the draft is still. It's like right after college baseball ends. The timelines, the way the timelines work with the college and the pro sports don't line up as well. So in basketball and in baseball, it's a 20-round draft, right? So you'll get feedback from scouts anyway as you finish out your season, and you kind of have an idea, and you can get drafted without even entering the draft in MLB. I'm pretty sure,
but not.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, football's different too.
Exactly, but then the window lines up better for football too, because then you have the season ends and the combine isn't until March, and then you have this open window of transfer portal. But that's totally different from
Yeah, but we're
from,
talking about
but you're
eligibility.
talking
from
you're
an
talking
eligibility.
what we were talking about was a pro guy who's been in pro sports going back to college. This is completely this is a kid
trying to
go pro who
Yeah, that's
hasn't been pro yet.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
So they
that's a
have
whole
they have
different thing.
tried to accomplish all they could in college, and then they can see if they're good enough to go pro in that realm, and if not, then they go back to college again, which most of them go back to college because you're going to make a lot more that year in college, and
So then I'm going to reference something different. Judkins for the Cleveland Browns. Remember they had an issue with the healthcare side of it, and he was worried that if he got hurt during the spring the training camp that he wouldn't get paid or it wouldn't be taken care of. So he held out until he got a contract or whatnot. But he also put back on the NCAA that if he doesn't sign his contract, he's still eligible to play football.
Well, in that case, he never.
But he got drafted.
Yeah, but he never played.
Right.
That's a weird situation. I mean, if you're drafted,
That's just more of a contract negotiation than anything.
But
So-
he didn't step foot on an NFL football.
But what's
Right.
so why is the verbiage he's going to forego the rest of his scholastic career to go to the NFL? Like, I'm announcing I'm available for the draft. Like, if I do that,
and he got drafted, right?
Yeah, he
When
did.
Sean Johnson,
Sure,
last
sure.
year was his rookie year, right?
yeah, but I mean, if he didn't sign the contract, was he?
Why didn't he have a contract signed already by training camp?
Because he was worried.
He was just
He
negotiating.
was negotiating the healthcare side of it because if he got injured as a running back,
Well, that and
then-
he wanted more money.
true. I mean, yeah.
Just-
I mean, yeah.
If you just sign your contract, you get guaranteed whatever you get guaranteed at the time.
Right, but not
Which is just
not the
dumb
healthcare,
anyways.
not the healthcare side of it.
Oh yeah, but
But he was, I mean, he was just negotiating
Pay
his
for your
contract.
pay for your health care with your bonus.
He wanted to make
Your
as
first
much
round pick.
guaranteed money as possible as a first round pick, and he wanted to concrete all of his stuff. I mean, But that's just the
kudos to
name-
him.
that's the name.
But
of the
I
game
think
nowadays.
I'm pretty sure the whole I will go back to college is just leverage at the end of the day.
Well, he's just saying if I don't get the contract the way that I want, then I'm just going to go back to
yeah,
college
because
and do
you
this
never-
process again.
Yeah, you
I
never
mean,
step foot because you can basically right before fall camp starts for college, go transfer into another school, and it'd be a weird little blip. But that's a very rare scenario. I don't think that happens.
Yeah,
too
most people
often.
that get drafted are signing it quicker, and
especially if you're. Well, was he a first round pick or a second round pick? I think
He's a
it's
first round pick.
I'm
Was he
just
supposed-
I
talking
think he's a
about
first
like
round
the
pick.
eligibility thing at the end of the day. Like, I don't understand. There's so many different.
Oh, he would have still been eligible.
It's
if he
different
doesn't
for every
sign.
sport because I mean every sport has different requirements before you go pro. Anyways, like NBA, you only have to, or college basketball, you only have to play one season. College baseball, you have to play 3 seasons if you commit to a 4-year university, or 2 seasons if you commit to a JUCO,
Or you
and
can
then-
get drafted out of high school,
or you can get drafted out of high school.
and don't go to college.
Right, and then
Baseball's by far the most flexible.
NFL's 3 years.
Yep.
Right. So I mean, and it just I mean it's about the grind, it's about the physicality of each sport.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how hockey works.
That was about to be my next question.
They're different because they have a lot of
I'm pretty sure you can get drafted out of high school.
you can because they have these like semi-pro.
You can get like drafted in middle school. Man.
Yeah, like hockey's kind of crazy. But
Hockey's probably doing it right. If
Well,
we're gonna say it, like they
probably,
probably got
yeah.
it all figured out.
and then golf has their own system with because they got young
More
kids on.
well, international stuff too. Some international sports like tennis and like those sports have different things because soccer's all over the place too. I mean, you have professional soccer.
I think
kids at
what
like 10.
Yeah, that the draft it's all kind of it's all a very big mess right now because of NIL
100%.
and because they're not doing NIL the way if they were doing NIL the way it was advertised, the way it was brought up and talked about in the first place, there wouldn't be this many issues. But what them signing NIL into law did was basically just open the floodgates for everything going on behind the scenes to be very like
legal now.
legal, but also not transparent at all.
Yeah.
So like there's
They took
everybody
shady deals and
yeah,
then turned it into
kind of
well,
like
it's publicly shady now.
yeah,
And
it's just
so
like
we're
everybody
gonna
knows
hide
it's
the
going
bad
on.
stuff, but we're not gonna hide the stuff that we
And then
think
there's no
everyone's okay with.
accountability. There's no accountability anyway, so there's no contracts.
We're not going to tell you about the strippers and cocaine, but we are going to tell you about the concrete contract that we have.
It's not concrete though. It's not concrete because nobody knows exactly. Everybody's like it's an estimate. Well, he's making between $5 and $7 million.
What do you mean estimate? You're a college player. What are you doing making?
Exactly, but that's the thing. Nobody knows exactly how much these people are making. Then there's supposed to be like a hard cap on these teams, like 21 million for basketball or whatever it is, and then teams aren't sticking to that because they can always find it. Well, here's an extra scholarship here, here's an extra incentive here, here's an extra thing here, but
this one doesn't count against the cap.
What
it's
NIL?
like
the way I understood it too, right? So like when I started working at WSU and or the AD came in and talked about what the expectations were of NIL. It's like, okay, we have these two third-party sources we're going to work through to make sure we're doing it by the book, right? So you had name, image, likeness. So if you're doing an advertisement or you're on a video game or you're on a billboard, right? Or you're doing a commercial, one of those things, that's your name, that's your image, that's your likeness. Or you can like capitalize off your talent. So back, before NIL, if you were a great piano player, you were a great artist, like you could go do these things out in public, but you couldn't get tips for them. You couldn't sell your art. You couldn't do none of that, right? Or like you couldn't like sign your game worn gloves and sell them, right? You can't do that. It's like what Reggie Bush got in trouble for.
You should have his Heisman, by the way.
I think they gave us Heisman back, didn't they?
They talked about it. I don't know if they ever did.
But yeah, so which is weird, yeah. But so like they can't sell their memorabilia, they can't do any of that stuff. They can't like run a business on the side if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Like if they're an entrepreneur, they can't do anything. But with the name, image, likeness, they can do all those things.
Yeah.
But it requires the athlete to take action to do it. What it ended up doing, like the biggest, like right away when the NIL was a thing, the biggest thing right away, Caleb Williams enters the transfer portal and Eastern Michigan offered him $1 million off the rip. Eastern Michigan. And you're like, and obviously he's not going to Eastern Michigan. He went to USC, but like that's what happened when they signed the NIL. It was just like, okay, all these donors are like, well, let's get a ton of money together and let's just make an offer to these players in the portal instead of the coach having to recruit and sell the program, in which he was going to go with Lincoln Riley to USC no matter what. And USC obviously has plenty of money to outbid Eastern Michigan, probably 7-1 for one player. But that's what happened. It just became pay for play, which was already happening at a lot of these SEC schools and to an extent at other schools too, as much as they could. But then once that happened, it's like, I feel like when I was at WSU, it was like it went from, okay, we're going to try and do this by the book. And then by the end of that year one, it was, okay, we need an NIL fund.
We need a collective.
Because it came to that. Because all these schools were getting a collective at first, especially these smaller schools. They didn't have
unregulated.
Didn't have the money of the SEC schools or the some of the bigger schools around the Power 4 or Power 5 schools at the time before they eviscerated the Pac-12. And then
eviscerated.
Seriously.
They eventually were like, okay, fans and being part of the development group at Wichita State, that was my GA position. So, like I could see I could see like all these like donors and what they're paying every day. Right. So they're already paying this X amount of money. And now they're being asked to be like part of the clubs, have a good experience with the players, the coaches get to meet them, do all this extra stuff to, that they're paying money for, and that you already have to pay into the scholarship organization to get season tickets anyway. And now they have to pay another $500 into the NIL fund just so they could keep the players they want to watch, right? Because their best player, well, the FedEx brothers from Memphis is just going to drop a bag to him. He's going over to Memphis, like after he has a pretty solid season at Wichita State, so it's like, it became like, okay, let's try to do this by the book. And then it's like, well, we just have to keep up with the Joneses now. Like we can't really do anything because like,
it's like a tiered system to be able to.
And then that's what over time now in the next few years, like, it's sad, but it's almost like, and you hope it doesn't go to this, but most of these non-power 4 schools now are just going to become the minor leagues to
100%.
the power 2 really to Big Ten and SEC, because now it's like Double A is the American Conference, the MAC, the Big East. Big East is only basketball and they baseball. I think they're baseball.
Yeah.
But all the private D1s, they don't have football. But the FCS is the single A, the the non-power 4 schools are the double A, and then Big 12 ACC is the triple A, and then Big 10 SEC is the big leagues.
Wait, hold on. You don't count ACC as the big leagues?
No.
Jeez.
No,
Probably
dude.
not.
No, because so ACC was like the first conference to sign a huge TV deal, and they got locked in with ESPN on a massive deal, but this was 12, 13 years ago, something like that. So once all these other schools signed their TV deals,
They were just
6 or 7 years later, right, all of a sudden they are massive TV, like way bigger than the ACC. So the ACC, with those TV revenue coming in, they didn't have as much revenue coming in from the TV deals to pay their players, which is what they should be paying the players with, is the TV revenue deals, not the fans' money, but whatever. So like ACC kind of went by the wayside, and now all the teams want to leave the ACC.
Yeah.
Like Florida State's been, they've been talking about Florida State wanting to leave to the SEC for a while now, and that's what, and then like Big 12 is kind of the same thing. They have a solid TV deal, and they're still really good at they're really good basketball conference, probably the best basketball conference. And then baseball's, but football's pretty solid, but they're not on the level of Big 10 SEC. And so Big 10 and SEC are the big boys. They're the biggest conferences right now, especially after SEC got Texas, Oklahoma a few years ago. And they have the most revenue, the most teams. And, Big 10 got Oregon, Washington, UCLA, USC to join, because, and then at first the Big 10 commissioners are like, well, we'll only take more teams if they're academically. I'm like, shut up, dude.
Okay,
Yeah, right.
Sure.
You don't know.
Let's just see your football numbers.
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah,
go from there.
yeah. So you're gonna turn away USC, UCLA, and Oregon because they're not academically ready for.
Yeah,
You're gonna
right.
turn away Nike money.
Yeah.
No.
Good luck with that.
But so it's just like now it's the
tier,
minor
for
leagues to the minor leagues.
Yep. It's
To the
tier,
major
for
leagues.
sure.
Like it's a funnel now. Everybody's paid, and it's out of control. And then that brings us back to the conversation of all this eligibility stuff too. And then all these players are like, well, I'm going to try and stay in college as long as I can because I can make money in college playing this sport, right?
Make a lot.
Yeah, as opposed to going pro and maybe trying to skirt a two-way contract in the NBA, or maybe getting on the practice squad in the NFL, or maybe being in the minors for a while in the MLB. No, I could stay in college and I can make
That's the
a
problem.
couple $100,000, $1 million, $2 million a year.
That's the thing now, bro. The dream, the goal was always the pros.
Yeah.
Now you make it to college, you good. You make it to
Yeah,
college, the
but
family finna eat.
Yeah, but they should.
Like,
and there should be, but they gotta put some reins on it.
Yeah,
at some
that should have been the
Right.
name, image, because
all
then
the
that
time, yeah.
requires the player to act themselves to make the money.
Correct.
they're
Or
paying them.
make your deals with the advertisements, make your deals with the autograph signings,
Sell your
go
jerseys.
sell your
sell your
be an
gloves.
entrepreneur and
Basically.
actually learn about that stuff. Still have a third party there to kind of help you out. Not necessarily an agent, but some sort
your
of.
mother or father or a
See,
Sometimes
no,
parent.
that gets a little shaky.
That's a little
too.
shaky too, because a lot of these people have these agents who are their parents or former coach or whomever,
Oh.
Then
who
it
are
turns
and
into a
then
debacle.
so then there's no contact in these transfers. There's no contact between the coach and the players. It's all coach and these agents who may or may not have a player, and it's just like
Or
and
their
they-
best interest in
or
mind.
their best interest in
Or-
mind,
Yeah.
because then the agents are going to try and get a cut of it too.
Yeah.
And not saying like,
They are getting a cut.
well, yeah,
50%.
or whatever deal. But once again, there's no contract here. There's no regulations to anything. So somebody's always getting hurt. Somebody's always getting burned. And everybody's like, well, about time the coaches get burned. It's like, dude, the coach is, this is what pissed me off too, is like Nick Saban went and testified in front of Congress about the state of college football and trying to rein in this NIL and everything. And he got ragged on by everybody. It's like, oh, you're able to make all this money off the backs of these college players, and you have you think you have the right to complain about it. It's like, Oh yeah, he's got 7 national titles. What do you mean? You don't think he's earned that? You don't think he's earned that? Because his reasoning was he's going to, I don't know if it was 7, it's something like that. But he's going to Congress and he's saying it used to be these players were coming to me and our exit meetings at the end of the year is like, okay, how can I fit you in to the roster next year? What can we do this offseason through spring to get better? Now it's this third string wide receivers coming up to me, or this backup defensive end or offensive line was like, how much money can you pay me?
Yeah. If
Right.
not, I'm entering.
Because he said they always used to have like these end of the year, or like when they're recruiting a ton of kids, they'd have a bunch of kids over at the house. Him and his wife are hosting them. They're going around talking to parents. And it's like, hey, what can I do? And all these parents, these kids are just like, how much money can you pay me? These freshmen, man.
Yeah.
They haven't even cut their teeth, man, and they're just like, how much money can you pay me, man?
It's a whole different animal.
And yeah, sure, there's obviously it's Alabama. I'm sure there's some under the table stuff already going on in Alabama, and Nick Saban's doing it. But hey, you're doing it for the players, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they're getting something down there, and then they're like, well, you have the right to. I don't know. Nick Saban don't have no problem with them making money, but them demanding him
for money
when he's like, when he probably wants nothing to do with this kind of GM role that a lot of these coaches have to take on now, as opposed to like coaching. Nick Saban's like, man, all I do is win. Yeah, I got. Look, my hands are heavy with these rings. My hands are heavy, and you're coming in and you're asking. Yeah,
he has 7 of them.
Like if a player comes asking for money, I just be like, oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Bill Belichick, I have as much rings as he does. Yeah, and he can't do it at the college level.
So my whole thing with this is the loyalty. Like me and you are big on it both. The loyalty when it comes down to the team.
I'm not, obviously.
Yeah, well, you are.
No,
because you stay with the Daubers. You're loyal. You're loyal to the Dobbs.
He just like looked at you. Me and you are big on this. Screw that guy.
Yeah, like no, anyway, because we've talked about it. Because we've talked about like the loyalty in college sports now, how there's not any, and it comes to me. It sums up a debate, the LeBron and Jordan debate. Where's the loyalty lie? Who built their program from the ground up? It's like those are the dudes
stuck with the process.
Bingo. Who are the dudes who are going to stick with the like UConn basketball? All those dudes are returners from the last 3 years they've been in the national tournament. All those dudes returned. They didn't go nowhere else. They didn't bounce around. They stayed where they were, built the program up, and they won. That's what they did. But most of these dudes, they're like, oh, I'm not playing. I'm transferring. I promise you, it happens at the JUCO level, NAIA, D3, D2, D1. Doesn't matter because everybody's chasing that dollar. Nobody's chasing the spirit of the sport anymore. Nobody's playing for the love of the game. Everybody's playing for the dollar sign on the sport. That's the problem I have. There's no more loyalty because dollars have uprooted every loyalty. The only L in loyalty is for dollar.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that NAIA and JUCO is like they're not transferring for money.
No,
they're just transferring because they don't like the situation they're in. But is the trickle down effect from the people chasing the money, right?
Yeah.
And they think they can go and they can make it. It's like if you can't cut your teeth a little bit and see if you can make something here and build relationships here and work your butt off here, what makes you think you're going to go somewhere down the road and do it better? You know, you might get a few more opportunities down the road, but you didn't even let yourself face the challenges here. You didn't let yourself face adversity here. So what makes you think when you go there and the first sign of adversity hits that it's going to be better? You just think it's all just going to be, oh, sunshine and rainbows. I'm in a new place. I'm competing for it. It's like, you're going to find issues wherever you go. So like, why aren't you challenging yourself to take that adversity and make something good out of it and actually learn a few things about life when you go through that process? I could have transferred. I mean, I kind of saw the writing on the wall my sophomore year that a new coach came in. I wasn't very well. It's not really the new coach came in. I just wasn't very good, but like I still could have transferred.
And there was a new coach.
I still could have used that ammo to go transfer somewhere else, get in there and go to a because there was definitely some less than some crappier baseball schools around us up there that I could have transferred in, maybe had a better opportunity to compete or do something else at. And I stuck around because I love the guys I was around and I committed there. And I plan to graduate from the place I committed to who gave me an opportunity in the recruiting process. And even if the coaching staff changes, I'm not playing for the coach necessarily. I'm not playing for the name on the back of the jersey. I'm playing for the name on the front of the jersey, and my brother's in the locker room. And if playing means I'm riding the bench and I'm cheering them on from the stands and I'm sucking at practice and getting mad at myself and chucking my bat and my glove 19 feet across just to make everybody laugh while I hate myself, fine, that's fine. You know, if they get a good laugh at it, I did something good that day.
Yeah.
You know, and but
Those are
you
what we
know,
call
these people
team
are like,
guys.
oh, I'm a backup catcher here, and I actually have an opportunity to play every 1 out of every 4 games. But that's not good enough for me. I gotta go somewhere else, you know, and make a lateral move or a backwards move and transfer somewhere else to play more. And then you don't even really like. Do you even like baseball? That's
Yeah.
what. Do you even like basketball? Do you even like football if you're looking to transfer so much?
I just want to interject. I love it when you go off.
I thought it was
so
just
great,
me.
man.
I thought it was just me, bro.
like
When Sean gets going,
Sean's patient and quiet most of the time, and then boom.
yeah,
I do think
I
that there's
decided
going
not
to
to be
be
facetious today.
yeah, good.
there's going to be a shift though, because I think college coaches are going to get to the point where they're over the nonsense. LSU's guy had a really cool interview the other day about the style of baseball that they're known for and what they play with. And he openly in the interview was just, he didn't say this to a T, but reading between the lines of what he's saying is he's like, we had graduating guys last year that were irreplaceable guys, and we tried to go out and buy them. Like, we tried to go out and get them from the portal and bring them in, and we went out and got these guys that we thought were going to help solve the problem. And we're learning the hard way now that we're not a very good baseball team, that we went and tried to solve a problem the wrong way. Like,
With a Band-Aid.
we have the guys in this program that we recruited that were here from a younger age that we should have just continued to develop, and then they would have been bought into our style of baseball, our culture of baseball, and they would have been a part of this for the right reasons. He was like, but instead we went to the portal to try and replace draft guys with other guys that were playing at this level, and that's not the right way to do it. And he's open about this, like in the interview, like he's basically saying, we will never make that same mistake. He was like, I will take the guys that are in my program that have been here for 2 years, even if on paper they aren't as good, because I know that they're going to play the style of baseball that we are trying to teach and play. Because you have a culture problem when you bring in guys from other systems and then you try to band-aid it and try to just make it work real quick. Like, it's not that simple. Don't get me wrong. You can get lucky from time to time. Like, you
Sure.
can find a guy that fits and like that happens. But he's talking about replacing, 2 bats in the lineup that were obviously big time bats. I don't know their names, but finding those are gaping holes that you're trying to fill. And basically when that happens, like you run into issues. So I don't know. It's I think that college coaches are going, there's always, you see this shift in sports over times when you've been around it for decades at a time. Like, you see this happen over and over. It's just, it's different each time because of the money that's involved and the way that money continues to elevate the games. So that plays into it somewhat, but it's just guys are going to get fed up with it, or they're going to stop coaching. It's going to be one of those two
Yeah.
things, which sucks. But that's the reality of it, is they're either going to just go to the system that has worked for the past 100 years or whatever it's been, where they develop young guys, they stick it out, they find ways to keep them there. And granted, they're still going to have to pay. They're still going to have to find ways to do it. Like, they're going to have to adapt. But these guys are eventually going to say, like, hey, how different is it, right? Like, how different is this third baseman that's going to come from Florida compared to the third baseman we already have in our pipeline that's not going to cost us as much money, and he's a kid who has stuck it out and been through our system, right? Like, eventually that change starts to happen. It'll be programs at a time, and things like that will take time, but I think that wave happens, and then I think you see some differences there for sure. But the problems that you guys are talking about, those I don't know that those ever go away. I don't know that the soft-minded mentality of athletes coming up in the culture that we have in youth sports that bleeds into high school, that bleeds into the young years of college, that mentality, I don't know that that's fixable.
And I
Like,
want you to know that mentality is built at home.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm sorry to if my mom is actually watching this.
Hey, Mom.
She's on there,
Hey,
I think.
she might be, but hey, there's things my dad told me at 7 and 8 years of age that he tells grown
Don't
men.
get your dad in trouble.
My mom was. Without these words, I would not be who I am today. I told him that. I told him that when after the first year I came from college, JUCO, I went home. I said, "Hey, listen to me. Thank you for everything you ever said to me, whether it be good or bad, because there's nothing no coach could say in the world to me that can hurt my feelings." I'm telling you, like, it builds character, man. Like, I promise you, being tough on
Amen.
your kids and letting them know it's a tough world is really what you have to do. Not saying don't shelter your kids. I'm not saying don't protect your kids, but make sure they're not going out there and being naive. Make sure they're understanding how to actually make decisions. Like a couple podcasts ago, you said how you talked to your mom and you guys talked about the transferring situation when you're in high school. Learning how to make a decision as a young man. That's how you do that. You don't just, oh, I don't like this. I want to try. No, don't just say because your kid doesn't like it means you just, oh yeah, we're going to make something work out for you. Come on, honey. Let's transfer you somewhere. That's not how the world works. So you're going to tell me you don't like your boss. So you're going to say, oh, I'm going to find a new job. I promise you, just like every college coach in the country talks to each other. I don't care what level you are at. Every coach talks to each other because that same ABCA convention, what every coach in the country goes to, they talk to each other. So if you think Johnny's going to transfer from A&M to Florida and the coaches haven't talked about Johnny's terrible attitude, you're highly mistaken. So don't.
Highly mistaken.
Highly.
He just sucks.
Dude, Johnny is always just catching the
We're
bad
just so
rap.
sick of Johnny.
Johnny is
man.
on this
Frickin'
show.
Johnny,
Is just
dude.
Yeah.
rough human, I guess.
We need to.
Johnny's
Johnny's going to put in
he's
for
got to
a
start
name
over,
change.
actually.
I saw a
Start over, Johnny.
funny video the other. It was yesterday. Like a kid woke up and it said, point of view. You woke up in 2005, and the dad comes in and is like, "Hey, wake up! We're going to Chuck E. Cheese." And then the kid's like, "Shut the F up!" And then he comes back in with a belt and just beats on him. And then the kid's like, "You can't do that. Why not?" And he goes out like his brother. Hey, what are you listening to? 50 Cent, and just burn the CD off. And he's like, I'm also gonna listen to the new Kanye album too. He's like, burning CDs. I don't smell any fire.
See, these kids don't know, but no.
And then the kid's
CDs,
like, go outside. He's like, go ride your bike outside. I don't have a bike. Why don't you have a bike? Well, don't I need a phone? What do you need a phone for? And it's like, you just grew up to a pansy overnight.
Yeah,
didn't you?
I think
Yeah.
2005 was still the Edge network on phones.
2005, man.
It's still
That's
Edge.
Pretty
that's
much
5 years.
dial-up.
I was living it up in 2005.
Shoot,
Good times.
2005, man. What a time to
Good
be alive.
time.
I was
man.
graduating.
Well, the topic today, we kind of covered two different scenarios, I suppose. We started on if you go pro, should you be able to go back to college, and then we finished on
I think
NIL about all the college stuff in there. But
it should be.
all right, so to close it out, we'll do a short version. So if you go pro, you believe what's your system about entering back
all right,
into
so-
eligibility or to play in college? Should it be allowed, not allowed? What's your details?
I think I think depending, like you said, situational should be allowed depending on age. I feel there should be an age cap if you go back to college from professional sports. Because, like I said, if you play 4 years and, like, let's say you get a bunch of concussions and you can only go back and play golf, like, I would like to say there should be allowed for a 22-year-old to go back and try to still figure out what his life is. So I say there should be an age cap. I'd probably 27 at the top, 27, not turning 28. I'm talking about 27 flat. So I say it should be 27 and you should be no more than I'd say no more than 5 years of a professional athletic status. Those would probably be my few requirements off the top of my head.
Okay.
So you can't be a vested person in the pro system.
If you play 6 years, you're done. Can't do it.
Right.
But if you play 5,
I
5
think-
is the cap.
I think the NFL is 7 years to be
And
vested. So
Are you in your system? Are you able to go back to the sport that you
No.
went pro in?
No.
It used to be a different sport.
No, you have to play a different sport. Your amateur status, because as far as I know, when you go pro, your amateur status is blown
Yeah.
for that sport. So why should I let you go back to that sport?
Because currently we have some former pro college basketball players playing college basketball again.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't play in the NBA, they played in the G. Well, actually, there was one who was on a 2-way contract. So he actually might have played the NBA. But anyway,
See,
so you're saying no to that?
no, you can't.
Fair enough. I like that too.
yeah.
Okay. What's your system?
Yeah, I'd say something similar to that. I would actually cap it at like 25.
Mm.
You know, probably. I agree that I think like
I'm
if a
trying to give
kid
myself a
goes
chance.
pro at a high school or something. Oh, you're thinking to yourself. You know, honestly,
Yeah, I
27. I mean, I'd probably go back and sling a few innings. But yeah, I think giving a kid an opportunity, like if they went early out of high school to play baseball, or they played, 1 year of college basketball, they went pro in basketball and they want to come back and play it. Yeah, I kind of like that, because then you still give that kind of age range. Because people say like 18, you're an adult. Heck no, dude. You're still, your body's still going through something, and your mind's still growing. Like your mind does not mature till you're 25 or something. Like my brain is, now that I'm 20, it's dying off now for the rest of my life. So yeah, I probably accelerated that a little bit in college, but yeah, I would say like kind of similar to you, just like 20, 25 be like a cap if they wanted another shot. And if you're over that age, you've played, over 5 years of professional, yeah, don't go back to college. You can go back to college, get your education or whatever. You don't need to be playing no sport, man.
No, you can kill somebody.
Dave? Any system for you? No?
No,
Just once you're pro, you're done.
I just a pot stirrer. Okay.
Yeah.
I just
I
like
don't
to stir
mind
the
that
pot.
though.
I
Like,
like the-
even if it's just like, even if you go pro, I don't mind. Like if you go pro, you just can't go back to play sports in college.
Yeah.
Like that's fair too.
I think if
Now
you get,
he did bring up a interesting scenario where like if you go back at a certain time and you don't take a scholarship, I like that as well, because then you're not taking a spot of like a scholarship spot of another kid who probably needs it.
So what if? Well, never mind. They
Okay.
will be good enough to get a scholarship. So yeah,
they
never
would
mind.
be.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
if you
so-
get drafted out of high school in any of your sports and you go pro out of high school.
Which, by the way, real quick on that, I
Okay.
do think they need to take away the 1-year rule in NCAA basketball. Just let the kids get drafted out of
I
high
agree.
school again. But go ahead.
I agree. So if you get drafted out of high school and you go pro, I don't know what the yearly thing would look like. I think you'd have to get a little bit more information to really kind of put a number on it. But if you get drafted out of high school, you go into a professional system, things aren't working out. I think that those athletes should have the opportunity to come back to college. So to your point, the younger professional athletes should have the opportunity that if they made the decision to do it, weren't developed enough, weren't ready, all the different things happen. I don't think that you should roadblock them from having a chance. Now, I think there should be a timetable, right? Like whether that's a year, 2 years, whatever. If it doesn't work out, get them back into a college system because they're still of the age, right? And I would probably lower the age that you guys are talking about, like before 20, 21, something like that. Like, so that way, if they do go back to college, they're still in the age range of what incoming, freshmen and sophomores look like in college in comparison to having this big age gap of 25, 26 years old where they're then competing against kids 5 years younger than them.
Yeah.
They're going to have a huge advantage. So if you get drafted out of high school, now let's say you go college and you go for that year up to the 3-year mark and then you go professional, and that's where I think that it should be a hard stop.
Yeah.
Like I think if you make that decision to not finish your college career, you've had the opportunity at a collegiate level to understand what that development program is going to look like, right? You understand and you're making a conscious decision of, hey, I've been here for a year at the lowest one, right? I've been here for a year.
Yeah.
I can see what this would do for me over the next 3 years or I can go to a professional contract right now, and I understand what that jump's going to be. I have to make the best decision at that point, which is tough. But ultimately, you're making that decision. I don't think you should get to go pro, be there for a year, 2 years, and then come back, because then that age gap is going to start to happen at that point in time. And then as that's starting to happen, you start to create an advantage for yourself in college, which you already had the decision to stay there. You already had the decision to stay and develop. You chose not to because you're probably chasing the money in the pro contract, which I get, like I understand it, but there shouldn't be a penalization for a kid coming up
Penalization.
because you want to go and better the situation for yourself and then come take advantage of the lower level. Like that's where, and granted, there's got to be some timetables in there, and like you'd have to do more
Well,
information on that. But
and really, when it, like, whatever we say, so say if we had the power to implement these rules or whatever, and we did, there would still be, these different
Sure.
waivers and hardship things,
Yeah.
and then it's like there'd still be people, coaches, and all the they'd all still be manipulating the system, So like that's a trouble. If you
I'm not 21.
that's the thing that I would support.
My
Like,
days are in reverse.
that's the way. That's the thing. Like if it were to happen where, like, if you just do a hard stop, if you're pro, you can't come back. Like doesn't matter what sport, I'd be in support of, because then that doesn't leave any gray area.
Yeah,
Because
I'd
gray, that's the biggest issue with college sports is there's just too much gray.
There's too many people doing the loophole system.
Yeah,
and trying to figure it out.
Yep.
And then, like, who catches the most, like, flack in all that?
The
It's the
coach.
fans, actually.
Really,
I mean,
it's
it's the
100%
fans,
the fans.
catch the biggest of rift of it, because they're the biggest supporters of this institution and their players, and yet what are they getting out of it exactly? Is coaches leaving all the time, and then all the players following the coach, or whatever it might be, and then the media is screwed. Now, I'm not the biggest supporter of the media, but a lot of these journalists do their job well.
Sure.
Like, whether they're a newspaper, whether they're a news outlet, whether they're a podcast, whatever it might be. Like,
We are in media, by the way.
yeah, we are kind of, in
And we
media.
do.
So now I have
we
to
do
be
a really good
yeah.
job.
Now I have to be on the side of the media because I am media. But like,
We're
then
independent.
these media people who want to get answers and want to get the public answers, because they have audiences they got to appease too, right? They can't get them answers because everything's so non-transparent.
Yep.
So, like, all of this gray area just leads to more gray area, which leads to more loopholes, which leads to more, like, why is there a 26-year-old former pro basketball player playing basketball right now, or something like that? It's weird, and it's not college sports anymore. And eventually they will need to put, like, hard caps, like 5 years of eligibility, hard stop. And as far as the NIL goes, there's no more NIL. It's all their employees, essentially employees of the university. There should be a CBA, and it'll be basically the players have a just like pro sports. Players will have a representative to negotiate CBA with the conferences, basically, that they belong to. So, the schools and the players of the Big Ten will have their representative for CBA negotiations, and the schools in the Big Ten will have their representative, and they'll go and talk about salary, benefits, all that kind of stuff, just like the pro sports do. Like this lockout that's going to come for MLB this next year, they're going to have a big CBA disagreement.
Yep.
After 2026, and there'll probably be a lockout next year, and it'll be the kind of the same thing in college sports, and that would cut out most of the gray area. And then there'll be contracts. There'll be what was I talking about?
CBA.
Yeah, but like not accountability, but transparency. There'll be transparency. Like, you can't have what happened with that Washington quarterback during the portal, where he, like, signed and committed to coming back to Washington, and all of a sudden LSU came in and gave him a bag, and he was about to go to LSU, and then I think he's going back to Washington now, because LSU ended up getting that Arizona State guy anyway. But it was this whole thing.
They
Like,
got like the governor involved or something.
Yeah.
And like that whole
See,
bit.
loyalty.
yeah, and like
Oh.
now that guy's coming back to, like, he was just about to bail on him, and now he's coming back to the team.
I would never want to play with that guy. Like, that's the problem. I don't want to play with him. You're about to be out on me, and you're coming back.
It's it just
Sad.
creates issues
Sad.
within the team. It creates issues with the fans who are paying money, not only season tickets, but also paying their own money, which they make their own decision to pay. Like, yeah, but they're still, they just want to love a player. Like they want their kids to love these players.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
all the Iowa State fans that I know, they had a mass exodus of players because their coach ended up going to Penn State, right? And so a lot of their players went to Penn State. A bunch of other players went elsewhere. There's a ton of like stories that came out like for Christmas, because it all happened around Christmas, that because it was a late in the process, and all these kids were getting jerseys of guys who just transferred, and it's like, oh man, like it now, like obviously that's not everything, but it's something. It's another like thing
Similar to your Malik
it's
situation.
not the right. I know. Now I got to. It's all right. I that's pro sports. That's pro sports. understand. I'm full support of Malik.
I'm just trying to
wear
throw
them. I'm gonna wear the Malik Dolphins jersey this year. It'll be great.
Curveball.
And I'll be a halfway Dolphins fan this year, so it'll be fun.
Hey, trust me, bro, it's rough.
And it just so happens we have another Dolphins fan in the office.
So
All right.
I'm out.
Hold on. I'm sorry. One last thing. One last question before we sign off. I know it's a long time. Sean, Sheldon, Devil's Advocate. Do you guys?
Did you look at me and say that?
Yeah,
Devil's Advocate.
because that's what you are. Yeah. So, loyalty. If the coaches leave, do you fault players for leaving with their coach?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I mean, at the end, especially nowadays, more than ever. Like I think 15 years ago, before the NIL thing, you're playing more for the school than because you're there for 4 years, and then you are for the coach. Like the coach is obviously a big part of getting you there.
Yeah.
The whole thing changes. With
But
the new staff.
but now with the transfer portal being open, you can leave whenever. You're committing to a coach. You're not committing to a school.
Yeah.
So you're committing to that coach. That's why
you're gonna have a whole new deal, whole new promise, whole new role, whole new everything. So it's like, do you follow the guy that's giving you the opportunity?
What I was talking about like earlier, where I committed to a school to commit to the school, and my coach who recruited me left after 1 year. First of all, it's much more smaller beans than the NCAA, obviously, but at the same time, I'm where I'm at. I got my buddies here. Like, it's a totally different thing now, where like if this is accelerated 10 years in the future, like if this happened 2 years ago and my coach leaves after a year, I'd probably, and the portal's just this open thing, like, and social media is a much more prominent thing for recruiting now. It would be like, well, okay, maybe maybe I'll hit the portal and see, either try and follow my coach or which he didn't go anywhere. But or try to find somewhere else to play or something. But like it's a lot different now. They're definitely committing to a coach, not necessarily an institution anymore.
All right. Well, Sean, since you're so alive and vibrant,
and not,
can you lead us in prayer today?
Jesus, yeah. Oh, Lord, thank you for this discussion. Thank you for waking us up this morning, giving us air to breathe. Just appreciate every blessing and challenge that comes our way, Lord. Give us the wisdom, the patience to handle our duties today with athletes, with our own things going on in life. I just pray for our communities. Stay safe, and I pray that they are also connected over you, Lord, connected with each other, with themselves, and with their families over you, Lord. And I just pray for protection for the entire city and area. A lot of crime kind of uprising the last week or two, especially. Just pray for the victims involved. I pray for the criminals involved as well. Just pray that they find you and find true peace and truth in their lives, that they can come back to you, Lord. I pray that our discussion always honors and glorifies you, Lord. And if it doesn't, I ask for forgiveness and just for repentance towards something better. And in your glorious name I pray, Jesus, amen.
Amen. Well, that's it for episode 20 of season 2. We're going to call it Eligibility. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.